force ONIC PH in a tight spot.
True. And for ONIC PH, the game plan right now is to at least survive early game or maybe try to get a lead, but that will be really hard to do. The safest bet here is to just sustain your way to late game. Once the Bruno gets the items, just watch him shred everybody else. But looks like we are entering Game 2 already. Work Osterforce on their way to sweep ONIC PH, but for ONIC PH, they have to win this. Their backs are already at the wall.
Again, Work Osterforce, they secured this victory. They will be on top of the groups ahead of ONIC PH in terms of points. They will be up 6 points, if I'm not mistaken, over ONIC's 5 if it's a 2-0 game for themselves. Now, it's looking like a scouting game here for ONIC PH, just playing it safe around the Little Wanderer in order for them to really get a feel of where Lancelot would want to go. And a little bit of an exchange there for the recalls in that game.
Man, in the top side though, this matchup, Lunox plus Chang, they're basically just gonna try to poke each other out while trying to farm. But I feel like the game changer here would be who would get the first gank, who would get the first tower dive, and how good will it be? Because we've seen our fair share of failed tower dives, and it has always been detrimental, severely detrimental to the team that failed it.
And if anything, if we're going to focus on the top lane, it's always going to have to be Lunox winning over Chang'o as Emar's TZ falls down first in the bottom lane. Iyaknu was almost taken out by this gank by Unravel to help out Kosei. And instead, they are looking at Jay here on that high loss, looking to get a dive themselves, trying to force the flicker onto Iyaknu. Thorn Rose enough to secure the kill onto Iyaknu. Meanwhile, bottom lane is where Dilar almost falls down. Jay will be forced to flicker out, almost makes it out by the skin of his teeth. As well as if on the bottom lane, Dilar makes it out as well.
Yeah, and right now both teams are playing quite aggressively, and looking at the gold score, it's still dead even, but Hate here will find 3 Martizi, but 3 Martizi going in for the 2v2.
And Hate gets knocked up, but will be forced to back off here as Unravel goes ahead and supports his teammate to just, help him survive, but Arteezy finds Kyrie, doesn't follow through, will be just zoning them out to just secure the first turtle of the game.
Yeah, and this is Work Osterforce sticking to what worked for them last game. And Work Osterforce, their macro game from last game actually gave them all the turtles in that game. Jay, though, that's going to be another free kill coming in from Work Osterforce. And ONIC PH, they have to be careful. They can't give out free kills, especially in the early game.
Yeah, they don't. The side of ONIC PH wants to really get the advantage in the early game, but Work is slowly gaining the advantage. As I say that, the same umbrella opened by Arteezy, not enough to really take down Iyaknu. It's more than enough to have him back off from that lane.
Yeah, and this is why you pick the Lunox. Even if you find yourself in a tough situation, just one press of a button, and that Order of Brilliance ult just gives her, or gives Iyaknu, a lot of safety that they need. But in terms of objectives, I feel like the first turret will be going to the hands of ONIC PH, and that's pretty huge. Giving some additional map control in the bot side early on for ONIC PH is one way to delay the game. And for Work Osterforce, looks like top side will be the next objective or the next aggressive play to take.
And it's they're taking their time. This is a heavy presence over the top lane just to try to secure priority over the turtle in the top lane. And it's giving a lot of space for Paquito over in the bottom lane. 3 Martizi will have a huge heyday, just getting as much farm as he can just to get the advantage against Dilar in this game.
Turtle will be up in a few seconds, and we're seeing Work Osterforce, as you said, establishing priority in the mid lane rather, in the top lane. But looks like they will be rotating on the opposite side of the turtle, trying to bait out Jay once again. Might be dangerous for the high loss right now.
Might be dangerous, but the danger is not going to be spotted out by ONIC just yet. Work Osterforce will be playing it safe. They're trying to get a good read onto ONIC here as to where they are in the entire map before they even start going for the lore, but this is detrimental. Chu already low on HP, and he's going to be forced back, and we see Unravel diving in straight into the backlines. ONIC J pops the glorious pathway to just escape from the grasps of Work Osterforce. Turtle is now being started up by ONIC PH, but they will just disengage, use that as a bait to just dish out more, a little bit more damage in this potential team fight that's coming. Unravel already low on HP, but so is Jay. Jay no longer has the Glorious Pathway, manages to flicker out just in time. Emartizi in the backlines. Unravel will fall down with Dilar, gets the Away the Dragon as well as the G Kundo. And this turtle is, there's still no sign as to whose turtle this is going to be, because Work Force does not have a good priority, and it will finally be secured by ONIC PH.
ONIC PH securing that turtle even without the Retribution. Both junglers did use the Retribution there, but you know, it's gonna be the Rafaela that secures that turtle, and for ONIC PH, that's huge. They gave away the first turtle, now the second turtle will be going in their hands, and this game is again on dead even. Only 400 gold ahead. Work Force needs to find an opportunity or an added opportunity that they need by mid-game, because late game, the moment this Bruno gets a lot of the items that he needs, he will shred over Work Force again and again.
And that turtle take might just be very detrimental here. It's on the hands of Kyrie. It's a good sign here for Work Force. At least it didn't go to Hate himself. But as I say that, Dilar will just take quick work here against Kosei over the top lane.
Yeah, and this is why you don't want to face a Cho playing as a mage. You don't have the same mobility, unless you're playing Kagura. It's the same mobility as a Cho, and most of the time he will find more opportunities than you. And we're talking about Dilar here. It looks like in the mid lane a fight will break out. Yeah,
Glorious Pathway by Jay, not enough to salvage his teammate there. Arteezy will fall down by the hands of Hate, and starting to become a problem. Hate is. Tried to summon my inner Yoda there, but he was already he's already starting to become a problem. That was a 1-for-2 trade in favor of ONIC PH, and they should have priority over the top lane turret, because Dilar and Hate, they're leaning towards taking down Kosei. As I say that, Emartizi will fall down without any problems whatsoever.
And this is the problem that Work Force has to deal with right now in Game 2. ONIC PH found the... I wouldn't say found. They actually just healed up, made sure that the early game was quite silent. It wasn't as noisy as it was in Game 1, and ONIC PH finally scaled up to a point that Hate actually deals a lot of damage per auto attack, and the turtle will be up right now. Started already by ONIC PH. Work Force can go for the contest, but I'm not feeling it right now. ONIC PH already established a great position with the Cho on the backside as well.
And the turtle will once again be secured by ONIC PH. Work does not have any priority and did not even attempt to challenge the turtle. Just wants to keep it as safe as possible. Try to just minimize the losses they have in that turtle take.
And I feel like that's mainly because Lar gets found out here. Might have been a dangerous place for him, but the G Kundo plus the Shunpo will always be enough for this game.
And the Meteor Shower is more than enough to force a flicker and the Glorious Pathway away from Jay. This is a huge opening for Work Force to force a fight, but with the recalls coming in from ONIC PH, they will reset themselves and wait for the next potential fight. And speaking of next potential fight, it looks like Iaknu is next on the table here for Work Force.
And Iaknu with a very low HP on the turret. This is going to be quite dangerous for ONIC unless they respond promptly. But looks like there are already two people in this bottom side, and Iaknu might be even able to defend this by himself. Doesn't know that Unravel and Chu is there. That's the Meteor Shower burn.
That's also the Order of Brilliance burnt out just to not get a lot of damage from Kosei. And there may be a fight coming up, but they have to, Work Force has to just focus on just working on Paquito's strength right now, on Emartizi's strength right now, which is to just push the side lanes as much as possible to gain a little bit more control here on this map, because it's starting to look like an ONIC map here, all blues.
Yeah, ONIC PH does have the map control, but doesn't have that big of a gold lead just for now. And Ravel bumping down Jay.
Jay forced once again to use the Glorious Pathway. I have not seen a very good aggressive Glorious Pathway being used by Jay to really start off the fight here. And this is looking like ONIC PH was waiting for the late game to come in for Hate to become the biggest problem on the backs of Work Force this game.
I still think that they're waiting for this big power spike for Hate before they actually go in for the kill, and I have to respect that. ONIC PH knows their power spike, they're playing with it. Vlar, though, a little bit too aggressive in that play. And that means Work Osterforce will be able to establish a good position near the Lord, but Jay is already walking towards Unravel. Doesn't actually find out just yet. Until now, it's going to be a little bit of a tickle fight there. And now the Lord will be, I guess, not the next big objective for now, considering that both teams still have a lot of healthy members.
As healthy as it can be, the Lord might just be the turning point here in this fight for, well, initially the turning point, because Work Osterforce needs to secure this Lord for themselves. Meanwhile, Jay and Kyrie just trying to bait out a lot of skills here, and as I say that, that is going to be a big knockout punch being thrown by Martizi to secure the first kill onto Jay and onto Hate. Kyrie tries to salvage his team, but manages to take down Chu. They are still pretty much in the fight here. Iaknu almost gets taken out, gets stunned out, a killing spree by Martizi. That is an unofficial triple kill for themselves, but that is an opening for Dilar to push out the top lane.
That's a big opportunity for Dilar to get that top lane. But then again, let's talk about Martizi in that fight. Martizi just went in with the shields, just very brave in general. Just gets the kills, gets the gold, and now a 1v1 with the show. Is it the kick or the punch?
And it's looking like it may be the punch, but Unravel is here to help out his teammate. They are going to focus on the Jay, gets stunned out, and Martizi is no doubt gonna have to go down in this fight, but Arteezy pops up with the Yin Yang overturn to turn the tides of that fight.
Work Osterforce with once again good response, good macro game, and evens out the game once again against ONIC PH. Yes, we are nearing the late game, but for ONIC PH, they still have to protect Hate. If Hate gets picked out early, just like the fight before that small skirmish, Work Osterforce will find opportunity after opportunity, and they have to limit that because Work Osterforce, this is the last draw of their mid-game power spike. If they're able to survive this, ONIC PH might see a lot more success in the future.
Yeah, they are as methodical, so to speak. Work Osterforce, yeah, they lost the early game, no doubt. We're already entering the mid-game stage of the game. They're regaining control of the game. Despite the fact that they do not have the superior map control in this fight, they're able to win out just by picking off the vital picks, the vital heroes here for ONIC PH, namely Jay, namely Hate. Kyrie able to just manage to escape from time to time, but that is because he is a Rafaela. As I say that, top lane being worked out here by a Work Osterforce. It's a 5-man presence to really go for this big gank, but they will back off.
Yeah, and the Lord actually was left alone. In ONIC PH, they didn't decide to immediately get it, but Arteezy might be in trouble here.
The first aggressive Glorious Pathway being thrown by Jay, but no follow-throughs from themselves. A bit questionable there on Arteezy to really pop the umbrella and just get info. That wasn't the best call. If the worst comes to worst, he could have been taken out, and that could have been a team fight for ONIC.
True. For Work Osterforce, yes, they do have the power right now to contest absolutely anything against ONIC PH, but they still have to be careful. The only person or the only people that could actually tank damage on their side is the Paquito and the Baksha. If you're not the Paquito, if you're not the Baksha, please do not go in front of the people of ONIC PH because they will not hesitate in trying to take you down.
And hesitation is the name of the game here, especially for Work Osterforce, because they really want to pick their fights as carefully as possible. As much as possible, they really don't want to go for a full 5-man fight against ONIC PH at this point, because ONIC PH has the superior firepower in terms of team fights. But they did catch Jay, force the flicker out. Here comes a meteor shower being thrown out, already low on HP, and again, a defensive, pseudo-aggressive Glorious Pathway being thrown by Jay. And again, no follow-throughs from ONIC.
Yeah, and Jay has been, let's just say, a little bit too aggressive in terms of face-checking bushes for his team. It's always Work Osterforce trying to find Jay. Jay is doing his job. I'm quite sure that that's his main role there, trying to fish for information, and he has to do so safely. Just like this, Work Osterforce might just be...
Oh, that was a beautiful timing and the patience to just go for the way of the dragon. And now this is a big opening for ONIC PH. Work Osterforce is down a core, it's down a man, and ONIC PH can, in all honesty, can force out a fight here. And as I say that, Glorious Pathway will be thrown out by ONIC PH.
Oh no,
but again, Arteezy, the Yin Yang overturn, gets Kyrie down to an 1/8 of his HP out, manages to survive. They have priority over the Lord here.
And it looks like priority won't be the story because the fight continues.
And Ravel gets taken out. They get the 3 Martese. They are backing off. The meteor shower catches Jay. Rafaela passes ult to just get a little bit more of that sustainability in that fight, and D-Lar dives in from the back lines, showing him that kicks are better than punches. And Bruno is down, indeed, and it is already looking grim for Work Awesome Force here. It is a 3-4-4 exchange in favor of ONIC PH. They have priority over the Lord, but it's not enough.
Yeah, ONIC PH, they don't have their jungler right now, so they won't be able to take down the Lord. But they did win that trade. Looking at the gold score right now, Work Awesome Force is still ahead by 300 gold. But that's mainly because they still got kills even in a 4v5 setting. Again, Chu was picked off before that fight even began. But Work Awesome Force was able to stall it until such a time that they actually got the fight going for them. That meteor shower was beautiful coming in from that Chang. But we have to look at RTZ on this Kagura. We've seen it countless times. The Kagura to a 100-0 combo just is severely lethal for the side of ONIC PH. But ONIC PH at the end of the day still had that Rafaela and Cho. Very hard to kill with a shield coming in from Shunpo, plus the heals and the stuns or the slows coming in from the Rafaela.
That instant replay was brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Get yours now for only 13,999 pesos, as they will get their own 3 Martese here in this fight. He will be taken down. This Lord is getting started off by Work Awesome Force. They get the good stun onto Jay to just save them, the Lord, but this is a 5v4 fight. Arteezy already low on HP. Smart targeting here for ONIC PH, and it may just become an ONIC PH game here. Unravel will eventually fall down. Work Awesome Force only left with 2 members to defend themselves.
Dlar saved that trade for ONIC PH. They lost that trade initially when they just got 1 kill on the top side for the Lord. But ONIC PH, Dlar, when they found that opportunity, just got in, took out the kills, it actually gave them the trade win as well. And now that the Lancelot is gone as well, ONIC PH is immediately transitioning this Lord take from Work Awesome Force to their favor.
And man, this is looking very grim for ONIC PH at this point. We are not ONIC PH, but Work Awesome Force at this point. It's not looking good for themselves because it's not working well. This composition is not working well from them. The mid lane turret is already down for themselves. The Doors pathway will already be triggered. Jay flickers in. A bit questionable there, but manages to really secure the kill for themselves. It's still doable for Work Awesome Force, but they have a lot to work with here. They don't have a lot of map control. I mean, guaranteed they already have the top lane in check for themselves, but the threat of D-Lar just split pushing is still real for them.
Yeah, and this is the late game that ONIC PH banked for. They have the split pushing coming in from D-Lar, and they have the damage coming in from Hate. For Work Awesome Force, the only thing that's left for them is to try and assassinate Hate. Try and get a bit more kills, a bit more map pressure, and perhaps take the next Lord. But for Work Awesome Force, they've already past their power spike. Meanwhile, for ONIC PH, they still have a lot of time to get even more damage, even more plays in. And I just want to say that their play in the top side earlier was beautiful. They passed down that Wave the Dragon immediately to the Holy Baptism.
And the Work Awesome Force will try to get a little bit more real estate back in this fight as they secure bottom lane turret. But this is going to be big. They get Kosei away from the waves. D-Lar manages to secure the turret. Doesn't matter if he's low on HP. Iaknu's there to back him up, and they will turn and go for the fight against Iaknu. And Chu will secure the kill off the D-Lar, no problem. But instead, the Order Village will be Chu doing a good job focusing on D-Lar, but D-Lar just dishes out a lot of damage there for himself. And Martese and the rest of Work Awesome Force are already begging on their knees to try to survive this fight against ONIC.
Man, Dlar on that play, actually on that series of plays, was insane. Dlar dodged so many abilities and just went on to deal so much damage even on low HP. And now this is still anybody's game, but this might be a massive fight.
It may just be the fight that will turn the game around as they secure the kill. Almost onto Martese. Pops the immortality for himself. Unravel getting caught off. Chu down. This is going to be big for ONIC PH. They already secured 2 kills off of that engagement with Kosei out of the fight. They have to Work Austin Force has to rely on Kosei here to go for the wave clears to try and buy a little bit more time, but Jay dives in to get the stun onto Kosei himself. Martizi is Arteezy would take down Hate.
Oh no, this is another misplay coming in from Jay. Flickering in to get that stun just gave Work Osterforce more room to operate even on a disadvantage. So for ONIC PH, yes, they know what to do. Yes, they know the aggressive calls, but the execution always falls short. But I have to say, Dlar has been playing insanely well, and if there's someone who could start off that aggressive play, it would need to be Dlar.
And Dlar has been going huge here. Currently 6-2-6.
Gives them this game back.
But we have to take in consideration, though, that Work Austin Force does have the superior wave clear in terms of just having the Chang'o meteor shower available for them to just clear out the waves. But this is two lanes open for ONIC PH. Work Austin Force has to make sure that they secure this Lord for themselves. It is Luminous Lord that will start pushing over towards the top side of things. But Work Austin Force will have to juggle their priorities here. They can't push forward. The threat of Dlar just split pushing is too real for them.
True. They have to shove the lanes before they go for that actual push. But they do have the wave clear, as you said. They could just shove the lanes really fast, go in for the kill with the Lord. But this is going to be a big problem for them. The lanes that are open for ONIC PH to take are bot lane and top lane. The Lord for Work Osterforce is pushing the top side, which means they will be severely far away from the bottom lane that Cho will split push, and this will force them a 4v4. The Bakito has to defend bot lane, and ONIC PH needs to defend top side.
And Cho, Dlar will finally back off. That is the first inhibitor turret down for ONIC PH. Good on Work Osterforce to just regain control of the map. Now, the primary concern here is to really catch Dlar, and it's looking like they will catch him, force the flicker out, uses the Jeet Kune Do, a lot of skills being thrown to just focus on Dlar here. But the glorious pathway to just deter Work Osterforce from chasing him down further would be enough to keep his survival in check.
That's a lot of ults burnt for Work Osterforce for one person, and this just goes to show how big a threat Dlar is in this game, especially in split pushing. They could have tried to end the game by pushing mid lane, but the pressure coming in from Dlar from the bottom side just gave ONIC PH the edge that they need in defense through offense. At this point, their offense is the best defense that they could handle against Work.
And the defense is working good for both teams, all things considered. No signs of ending just yet. Work Force really wants to secure this 2-0 defeat because this 2-0 victory, because they want to go on top of the game, their group. They're looking really strong. Oh, no. They're just playing as safe as possible, as there might be a big engagement over at the bottom lane. Getting stunned onto Chu, forced to use the Thorn Rose to dish out damage, but Rafaela pops the ultimate to just allow ONIC PH to run away.
Yeah, and in terms of map pressure, Work Osterforce has completely changed this as for now. 100 seconds on the Lord though, so I feel like ONIC PH has the time to push back the waves until the next Lord arrives, but I feel like Work Osterforce isn't even gonna wait for the next Lord.
And the Meteor Shower will be used to deter any further pushes here from ONIC PH for now, and I like how the turns have been tabled, so to speak, as Work Osterforce is now sieging the side of ONIC PH, just trying to get as much real estate back from this game.
Yeah, this is a 1-3-1 push from Work Osterforce, a very efficient way to manage the waves before the Lord arrives a minute from now. If they're able to hold these lanes pushing in their favor, they have priority over this Lord, and this Lord might just be the game-winning Lord for Work Osterforce if they're able to secure this. The only problem that they have right now is, even if they will be able to take this Lord through sheer power of, let's say, map control or priority over the Lord, ONIC PH still has the opportunity to contest. They have the damage to do so, they have the sustain, they have the flicker from Dlar, and things might go south for Work Osterforce if they don't take that Lord safely.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're already reaching the point where the gold lead that Work Osterford has doesn't even matter because at this point they already have their items in check. But what does matter is that Work Osterforce does not get picked off here by ONIC PH if they want to secure the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, and look at Lar just split pushing bottom side, making sure that that lane stays pressured from ONIC PH because that offers them so much freedom to defend against Work Osterforce. And Work Osterforce, the Lord will be spawning near the top side, which means they need to make sure that this bottom lane is shoved or maybe leave Paquito there, but they're gonna be Paquito less in that fight, and Paquito has been very important in the way they take their objectives. And the Lord has already spawned, and we're seeing one member here, or perhaps two members, make that three members from ONIC PH hovering near the bot side, and they might go for the hidden or maybe the surprise push in the bottom side.
Yeah, that is exactly what ONIC PH is wanting to do here. As soon as they get a sign that Work Osterforce is getting the Lord. Oh, this is going to be big. Dilar gets picked off. The game might turn around to the favor of Work Osterforce, but Dilar manages to make it out alive with the Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do plus Shunpo is a surefire way to escape anything bad. And it looks like Lar will be surviving another day but won't be actually recalling and will be staying in that bottom side for a possible push. The Paquito is still defending there, not giving an opportunity for ONIC PH as ONIC or Work Osterforce will be starting the Lord. This is going to be a 4v4 for the Lord, and Jay has been in an aggressive position already.
Man, this is a good call for Work Osterforce to really focus on focusing on Dilar from split pushing, just preventing him from doing so. And at the same time, this is also good for ONIC PH. Like, as soon as they get an inkling that the Lord is being started up by Work Osterforce, a full-on push in the bottom lane will be necessary in order for them to secure the victory. Now, Lord will just be picked off here slightly by Work Osterforce.
Kyrie is in the backside trying to heal up Jay, and the Work Osterforce is actually going to start this Lord already. That's information taken by Jay. Now everyone from ONIC PH will be trying to contest this Lord, and that's a recall coming in from Work Osterforce. They actually cancel out the Lord take, but the Baksha will be back immediately, knowing with that bonus movement speed, he'll be here in no time.
No.
RTZ though.
RTZ is in danger here. Work Osterforce will have to reply with this with their own Meteor Shower here, forced to use the Umbrella to get out of there, as well as the Glorious Pathway.
That's the Winter's Truncheon Burnt though for the Kagura. The Lord will be started once again by Work Osterforce, and 3 Martizi will be in the backside to defend. This might be a big contest coming in from ONIC PH, but will they be able to successfully stop Work Osterforce in their 4th or 3rd Lord attempt for this Lord in general?
And it has to be big, and they have to keep Dilar in check because look at the wave to the bottom lane. Starting to be a big wave that's hard to handle. Jay gets caught, stunned. The Meteor Shower will pop the Immortality. Dilar in the back lines goes for the Wave the Dragon to kick Kosei out of the fight. It's a 5v4 here over the Lord Pit area, and they have to reset. If ONIC secures this Lord, it's just game over for game number 2.
Yeah, and for Work Osterforce, RTZ picking off Jay's Immortality. Now Jay needs to be extra careful. His tankiness won't be a lot considering that he doesn't have that second life. Now Work Osterforce is just eternally pressuring this Lord, and I feel like the Paquito doesn't even know that there's a lot of people here in the bottom side.
Yeah, it's a 2-man presence. Iaknu catches Martizi, and this has to be a call for him to just back off.
Yeah, that's true. Now that there's 2 people invested in the bottom side, Work Osterforce immediately starts the Lord. Already on 3/4 HP, I feel like ONIC has enough pressure to make Work Osterforce stop and taking down that Lord. This has been a Lord dance that has been starting and ending for the past 5 minutes. We've been sitting here near the Lord for almost 1/4 of the game, and this is going to be a game-breaking Lord for any team to take.
Yeah, it has been real smooth. Cha-Cha, why would you face check that bush? RTZ almost gets taken out, but that is a Glorious Pathway being forced out. The burst is not enough to take down RTZ.
Yeah, RTZ successfully escaping that assassination attempt. This might just be Work Osterforce resetting once again. Again, we've been at this Lord site for the longest time already. It's been minutes here. The Lord has been started and stopped.
If it's just a huge stalemate here.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, in this bottom side, we always have Lara trying to apply pressure, and the Paquito absorbing it, pushing it again. if one of them dies with a big pickoff, that's gonna be a big game changer for this whole Lord dance that we're seeing. So for ONIC PH, Jay still doesn't have that immortality, still has to stay careful, but there are a lot of options for both teams here. Suddenly, it's in the equilibrium, even if we're seeing Work Osterforce ahead by 9k gold.
Yeah, it's... Work Force is just playing it safe, man. And you can't blame them. Dilar, though. Dilar already lurking in towards the backline to try to open up the map for themselves, and he gets the kill on RTZ. And this has to be the call for ONIC to just start with the engagements themselves. They get the stun on the Unravel, and this is forcing every single member from Work Force back. And Unravel is caught between a hard and a rock place. They will be forced back. Unravel is already low, has the immortality up, but he needs to reset himself. Martizi gets caught off, does not have a lot of damage on himself, and will be popped. The immortality will be backing off. He's gonna get taken out, and it's slowly looking like an ONIC PH game, but the meteor shower is more than enough for Work Force to just back off. For ONIC PH to back off, I mean.
30-minute game, we're entering late game where Hate just deals so much damage, and look at the death timers. It's longer than the Lord Dance already. 80 seconds on Emartz and RTZ on 40 seconds. This is looking to be a free Lord unless Chu steals it away, but this is going to be mission impossible for Work Osterforce.
And this has to be crucial for Work Osterforce to get there. Gets a big knock up there. HP slow by Work Osterforce, and this may just turn the entire game around in their focus. But look at the wave at the bottom lane for Work Osterforce. It's too big to handle. Chu low on HP. Immortality will be popped, and Kosei has to back off because the HP is starting to be chipped. Considering the fact that there has already been a nerf on the damage being dealt by the minions, it's still not enough because the HP of the base is already at less than half HP.
Yeah, and we have RTZ respawning in a few seconds, but the Lord will be pushing in the favor of Work Osterforce. ONIC PH, though, is 4-man strong against a 3-man strong Work Osterforce. They have to take a little bit of a time out here in the mid lane to just secure that Lord away from Work Osterforce, but this has been an intense game for Work and ONIC, and we're already at 32 minutes. One kill could change it all.
And that is the kill! That may just change it all. Dilar gets taken out. 99 seconds out of the game. This is a huge opening for Work Osterforce, trying to go for Iaknu here, but the first damage by Iaknu enough to take down Chu. Both of the primary cores, the primary damage dealers here for both these teams are down. RTZ next in line here, being chased down by Kyrie, being backed up by Kosei, forced to flicker out and secure the kill. That is a Rafaela securing the kill on to that Chang-O. And Kyrie being chased out by Kosei and Emartz. And it's only Iaknu in the base to just prevent the push from happening. Meteor shower more than enough to take down Kyrie. And again, this is another stalemate.
33 minutes in, and we're at a very long game right now. 101.5k to 110k. Work Osterforce and ONIC PH giving us the longest game so far that we have in MPL Season 7. And looks like it's gonna be, as you said, another stalemate here. Both lanes in the top side and the bottom side are open for Work Osterforce. Meanwhile, for ONIC PH, it's just gonna be the mid lane and in the top side as well. 2 minutes before the next Lord spawns, but as I said earlier, one kill could change this, and both teams are feeling immense pressure from just pushing lanes.
Emartz cannot be picked off here. He's being chased down by Jay and Hate. The damage from Hate is slowly becoming a problem. He does not have a lot of HP left here, but Vaksha's here to assist him. Gets a stun onto Jay, gets a knockout onto Hate. They will take him out, and that is going to be big. Jay forced to back off here. 102 seconds out from the core here of ONIC PH. Iaknu trying to back up Jay here, forced to pop the immortality. They will force a fight. Emartz will get taken out, and Kosei takes down Jay, but the HP is low for Work Osterforce, and they have to back off once again. It is a 3-4-2 trait in favor for Work Osterforce, but Kyrie is about to spawn.
This is another stalemate between ONIC PH and Work Osterforce, and we're entering the 35-minute mark in a few seconds. 100 seconds seems like a long time, but we have to take note that Work Osterforce has also 2 members down for the next 80 seconds, which means they're gonna take their time to equalize once again. Wait for a 5-man strong unit, and by the time that time happens, the Lord is already spawned, and the Lord will be the next objective. Again, the game-breaking objective, but ONIC PH, they have to stay careful inside their own jungle. Work Osterforce is already lurking around the corner!
That's the burst onto Iaknu! That is a big fight. Big pick-off. Just gives him a lot more space to take the Lord in the next 20 seconds.
100 seconds out for Iaknu, and this is going to be huge for Work Osterforce. The moment that Lord spawns, Chu will be there to take it. 3 people are down for ONIC PH, and this is more than enough time for Work Osterforce to secure that Lord. ONIC PH, they're already looking at a way to end this game. Oh, the choice in the bot side. This is lethal for Work Osterforce.
Oh, they have to make a choice here. Go for the Lord or just lose the game. And they will be backing off. It's just a Kagura though. It's not the best hero to go for the defense here. Can be bursted out by Dilar. Can be outdueled by Dilar. RTZ needs to play it as safe as possible. Try to buy a lot of time because RTZ is going to survive this. They get the Lord, but at what cost? The minions are already knocking on the door, being forced to back off because MRTZ and Ravel are going to spawn.
That could have been way worse for Work Osterforce. You know how much damage a Cho would do. One punch might just burn a lot of HP out of that crystal. But looks like ONIC PH, they find the reset that they need. 30 seconds from now, Iaknu will be spawning once again. Work Osterforce also 5-man strong. A big fight is brewing inside the base of ONIC PH as the Lord marches down mid lane once again. Again, we're 36 minutes inside this game. This is by far the most intense game that we had in this day so far, and this might be the final fight that seals it all.
The Lord is marching down. It's only a matter of time before Work Osterforce secures their victory. They will try to open up things here. Jave uses the glorious pathway here. The HP of the bottom lane inhibitor turret is not going to be a huge factor because they need to focus on D-Lar, and that's already the problem out here for Work Osterforce, looking to go for the fight here and end it against ONIC PH. Iaknu has the pressure damage to take the RTZ. Shoot down as well. ONIC PH is turning the tables here because Bruno is starting to become a problem. And MRTZ looking for the kill onto Kyrie. They're focusing on the base, and Work Osterforce might just secure this game, and they will. They get the victory on 2-0 on top of the group stage against ONIC PH.
What a game for Work